Good morning. This is Dennis Miracle. Today I'm going to be making a little small change purse, and I'm going to put an attachment on the side so you can attach your keys. I'm calling it the Slim Gem GEM purse slash key holder, and this is it. Oh, my hands are so unsteady. You can see it on the screen right now, and let me show you the things that you will need. And let me also say it comes with a back also with quilting on it. So it comes as a set for $4. But let me show you the things you're going to need. You're going to need a couple pieces of lining fabric, which I'm going to be using these. And these need to be 5 by at least 6 inches. And this is for the 5x7 hoop, or will fit in the 5x7 hoop. It will not fit in the 4x4 hoop. But I would use at least, like I say, a 5x6 inch piece of lining fabric, 2 pieces of lining fabric, 2 pieces of exterior fabric, and a couple pieces of batting. And you can just use scraps and grab what you have and make it fit, like I say, 5x6 or so. And you need a zipper, and I think this is like a 9-inch zipper I'm going to be using today. On the earlier one, I used a 7-inch zipper. So I think that's all you need. And you need, where's my little doodad? I'm going to attach, like I say, place to put my keys on this key ring. And this is a piece of grosgrain ribbon cut 3 inches long, and with the key ring in between and stapled at the top just to hold it together while it's being sewn. And so I'm going to go ahead and hoop up my 5x7 hoop, and I'm going to run the back piece for the purse. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be back shortly. All right, I have sewn the very first placement lines for the back of the purse, and I'm going to take one of my pieces of batting and make sure I cover. Let me see how that's going to be. That's going to be fine. Let's see the sides. Okay. And then I'm going to take my piece of fabric and place that over that. All right. Then I'm going to stick this. All right. Let me stick this in the machine, and it will sew this down so it stays where it's supposed to when it does the beautiful quilting. So let me do that. All right, as you can see, the fabric and the batting has been sewn down, and then we'll do the next step, which will, well, let me see. Actually, the next 3 steps for a total of 5 steps. So the next 3 steps we'll do, one will draw a pattern right here in the center, kind of a, what do they call that? I don't know, a 4-sided star, I'll call it. And then it'll do some stippling on the sides, and then it'll make the lovely flower motif inside the star. So I'm going to go ahead and run all 3 of those and get that done, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. All right, here is the completed back piece for the bag. So I'm going to take it out of the hoop. I'm going to tear off the paper towel. This is my stabilizer. That's what I use for stabilizer. Just tear it right off and throw it away. All right, and then just set this aside, and we'll get back to it in a few minutes when we finish the front of the bag. So now I'm going to re-hoop more stabilizer and run the first step, which will be the placement stitches for the outline of the bag and the zipper. So I'll do that and be right back. All right, you can see that the first step has been run, doing the outlining of where things need to be placed. Let me see. Now, you need to take your zipper, assuming it's a number 3 zipper. It should fit right here perfectly. Well, it's the zipper must be slightly off because I'm sure this is 1 inch between line 1 and line 4, but it'll be fine. Take your zipper and put the head of the zipper heading upwards and tape it down. Alrighty, put it back in the machine. Now it's going to stitch down this side, or possibly over here, I don't know which, but it's going to cross over right here and sew over the coils. So that's why you need to have your zipper head up here in this direction. So let me go ahead and run step 2 and I'll be right back. All right, you can see that the second step has been run, and there. And let me measure this, because now I'm curious. Yeah, this is just a hair less than 1 inch, but it's one of those Amazon zippers, and sometimes maybe they're not quite as precise. So, but I think it'll be okay. So let's turn over our hoop and find whatever we're going to use for our lining fabric, which is going to be this. Place it face down and line it up with this 4th line down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure this is plenty big, so you've got plenty of room on the sides, and tape it down. All right, now turn your hoop over to the front. Let the lining fall over to the front, and tape your lining down, because we won't need it for a while. So hopefully that'll stay. Now take whatever you're using for your front piece of fabric and do the same. Put it, let me see, put it right up against the edge of the bottom edge of the zipper. Make sure it's centered on the sides, which it's fine, and tape it down. Okay, now stick this in the machine and run step number 3. All right, now let's look at the back of the hoop first to make sure, yes, it's sewn down perfectly. And back here to the front, take a piece of, I had cut this one, which is about, I think, 5 by 6, but I don't think I need that bigger one. I've got a little piece here, just a little scrap. I'm going to use this. It fits perfectly. So let me see which edge. Okay, go ahead and take your piece of batting, whatever you're using, and pull down, well, I'm going to turn on my iron, pull down the top piece of fabric, and after my iron heats up, I'm going to give it a little press. I like a nice crease right along through here. So let me wait and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, I have given that a good press. I'm going to stick it in the machine and do step 4, which will sew down this on all sides just to hold everything in place, because we're about to start the quilting. So let me run step 4. Be right back. All right, now you see that step 4 has been accomplished. Steps 5, 6, and 7, let me make sure that I'm not telling you a story. No, I'm not. Okay. Steps 5, 6, and 7 are going to do the same stitching as this back piece. So I'm going to run all 3 of those, one right after the other. And when it's done, I'll be right back. All right, now you can see I ran 3 steps, and let me see, this needs a little trimming. It left a little. See if I can get that. Doesn't usually do that. Okay. All right. Now, and one thing I was thinking you could leave out the flower in the middle and put your use your machine and put your initials here, the monogram. It's certainly something you could do easily. So let me then, the next thing we need to do is to run step 8. We need to loosen the piece right here at the top, let it roll back to the back. And I think my camera is about to die for some reason, so hopefully not. Okay, take off these pieces of tape on the sides, fold your lining down, and then tape them. Tape it here on the side, on both sides, and stick this in the machine and run step number 8. I'll be right back. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to get rid of this stabilizer behind the zipper here on the back. So as you know, I probably know, I use paper towels as my stabilizer. So I just give a little cut there with a seam ripper and use my fingernail to get rid of it. All right, that's done. And then back over to the front, we need to take off this piece of tape here that initially held the zipper down and open the zipper about 3/4 of the way. Now take your little piece that you're going to attach your keys to and place it right here and tape it down on the outside of the stitch line like this, and tape this piece of metal down because it will get somewhere it shouldn't and cause a disaster, possibly. I've had it happen. All right, now take the back piece that we made and put it face down. I guess let me see. I think I'm going to put it like this and try to line it. I mean, wait a minute, maybe like this. And try to, look and see on the sides where everything, and at the bottom where it should line up with with this piece. So it looks like I'm okay right here on the sides and on the bottom and along the top. Let me look at this side. It looks fine. Now, I always say make sure you're at least 1/4 of an inch over the zipper, which we are more than 1/4 of an inch way over. So go and tape this down to keep it from moving while it's stitching. And stick it in your machine and run step number 9, and I'll see you right back in a moment. Alrighty, took all of about 30 seconds, or maybe not even that, to do that. Now take for your last step, let's turn the hoop over to the back, and let's take our last piece of fabric, the other piece of lining, place it face down over the lining that's already there, and make sure you are at least 1/4 of an inch above the top edge of the zipper, which is this line right here. So that should be fine. And then tape this down at all 4 corners like this. And let's put it back in the machine and run this very last step, and then the sewing will be done. All right, the project is finished as far as the machine and sewing, so let's take it out of the hoop. And I always check my hoops for pieces of tape, and I check the bed of my machine for tape. I don't see any. Let's see what happens. No tape here either. All right, now I start trimming from the lining side of the fabric. So here we are on the lining side. Get your good scissors that are sharp and cut straight up you're cutting towards this right here, right before you get here to the sewing. Cut straight up. All right. And then turn it this way and cut straight over this way to that. All right. There's that piece gone. Now take and follow this maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch around. I always give it a little, cut it like that there. And then, all right, give it a little cut like that. And follow it around. And then when you get to the last, coming around this last bend, cut around like this and cut from down here right into it, and that should fall off as it did. All right, throw all that away. There's nothing there to keep. Now, take and pull these pieces of lining down, and then all of this stuff here needs to be cut off because it's junk. And you know what? I didn't. Okay, cut this off. Did I not put... Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. I did put... okay, yes. Alrighty. So now take and let's reach in and turn this out for the first time. And it's not too bad. The last one I did was with vinyl, and it was not so easy. I had to heat the vinyl, which I took my iron and put a pressing cloth over the vinyl and heated it. I ran the iron over it, and that made it soft enough to be able to turn. So if you're doing it with vinyl, you might want to try that. So, okay, now let me give it a little... Well, is that caught in there? Where'd that... Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to give it a little press right now. Okay. Just for good luck's sake. Alrighty. Now, turn here to where you see your 2 pieces of lining. Take the short one first and fold it in like this and give it a press. All right. Take the long piece. Obviously, the piece of fabric I used for the lining was quite a bit bigger than it needed to be, so you will know when you'll know what size to cut when you do your placement stitches. But I use 5x6, 5x7, just as that definitely will be big enough. I think that's what I told you when I started. That's the sizes I cut these fabrics at. But you see, I certainly didn't need to cut it that large. So just, use your own judgment and discretion. So fold that piece down in, and let's give it a little press. And now take it over to your sewing machine, and you want to sew right between where my fingers are and close this gap up. So do that, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, take your nippers or snippers and cut off some of these excess here's 2 pieces always on one side and 1 piece on the other from the sewing of the seam closed here. So you can see it's all closed. Now let's open our zipper as far as we can get it open and reach in and take that tape off. There it is. Okay, and now let's turn our little mini purse out and see what it looks like. Trying to get these corners out. All right, now use your fingers and mold your zipper in the direction where it should be, which is right like that. And take and close it. All right, it closes just fine. All righty, and take your iron and give it a little bit of a pressing, and we're just about done here. I can see my corners are not pressed out like they should be. Here's the back. I think it looks lovely. But I'm going to take and get these corners pushed out better. But there we have it. That's the Slim Jim card key holder. I have probably, on the first one I made, I probably have 12 to 14 debit, credit, insurance cards that I stuck in there. So it'll hold quite a few, and you could put some, some cash in there and then attach your keys over here. And it's thin, so it would fit in a man's or woman's pocket. So it's a nice little thing just to grab and carry with you when you don't need all the other things that, you're just going out for a quick, to grab something at the drive-through or whatever. So anyhow, there you are. And I hope you've enjoyed watching me make this. And I always say, if you obtain the pattern, make something really pretty for yourself or a friend or loved one or an enemy. And also, I want to thank those who continue to encourage me with their words and purchases they make. And I really appreciate that. It means so much more than you could know. And once again, thank you so much. And I'll be back in a day or two with another design. Have a great day. Bye-bye.